Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, I'm Platter Series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. Stuff I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, stay down. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm inside the truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. I screwed up my intro a little bit, but we're going to keep rolling. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I mess up my intro and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. That is absolutely the case today with this particular item. And indeed, the next item that I'm going to review after this. Because I went over there, got off work a little bit ago, and I was like, all right, well, I wanted to go grab something to eat because I was hungry, as you do. And I went to McDonald's because I was like, yeah, man, I'll go through the drive-thru. We'll do some stuff. And I get to the drive-thru, go to take my order. They're like, hey, could you just give us a little bit, it's fine, it's fine. Thing is, I like McDonald's just enough that if you say, hey, could you give us a minute, I will give you a minute. You're not that great. You're not that cheap. If you're not at least convenient for me. So I gave it about 2 minutes. Still didn't get anything. It was like, I'm just leaving. But I ended up stopping off at a gas station nearby, and I found some shit to review. What is the first thing that I'm reviewing for you, folks? It happens to be, boom! It's this, because we've always wanted waffle flavored milk. This is from Nestle. It is part of their Sensations line. And they've done like cereal milk and stuff, but this is the first one where it's like, well, yeah. It is Nestle Sensations Kellogg's Eggo maple waffle flavored milk. Okay. Let's get a thing for the thing. Can we get a... Better over here, probably better over here. Okay. Sure, man. Like I said, I've tried some of the other Sensation stuff. I think I've even reviewed a few of them. They have like Fruit Loops milk and, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch milk and stuff. See, this seems like it's weirder, but then you think about it and it's like, well, no, like, they had Waffle Crisp. That was like a waffle-based cereal. So, let's find out if this is basically just Waffle Crisp milk. If nothing else, I appreciate that they're trying wacky stuff. They're having a good time with it. One thing I will say about Nestle packaging, it's just, it wants to fall apart. Like, I wasn't aiming to tear it all off, but now I am, because it started coming off. Let's give it a go. Shake, shake, shake. Yeah, that has a maple smell to it. Alright. There's totally just Waffle Crisp milk. Do they still make Waffle Crisp? Or did they discontinue that? I used to eat Waffle Crisp quite a bit. That was like one of my favorite ones. But then they came out with French Toast Crunch. And that's just the best cereal that's ever been made. It's just the best. So at that point, I kind of stopped with the Waffle Crisp. So I don't know if it's still around or not. I want to say maybe it was discontinued, but maybe they brought it back, but maybe they discontinued it. I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely fucking Waffle Crisp milk. It's nice for what it is. I think they were smart in how much flavor they put into it. Because I think for me, if I recall correctly, and it has been a very long time since I had fucking Waffle Crisp, but I seem to recall that, you eat like a full solid bowl of Waffle Crisp. I'm talking like a proper Saturday morning cartoon bowl of cereal. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like, you'd get that leftover flavor in the milk and everything. I definitely remember that being stronger than this. So my initial kind of response was like, it's familiar, but not as potent. And if I recall correctly, I think that's been pretty much my experience with like all like the cereal milks, again, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the Fruit Loops, is like, yeah, it's certainly evocative of the flavors it's trying to present, but not quite as much as, if you were to basically, make it yourself with just a bowl of cereal. Um, but I do think, especially in this instance, it probably is for the better. Because, if you're going over there, you got a bowl of Waffle Crisp, now you're over there, you got a little thing of milk that's left at the end, gulp it all down, it's delicious, it's waffle crispy. That's like the end point of the whole thing. Chances are there's not a lot of it. This is the whole drink. This can't be that flavorful the whole way. I mean, it probably could, and I'd probably be fine with it if I'm being honest. But I can appreciate that they didn't go to that extent. Like, the maple flavor is there, but it isn't like a punch you in the face maple flavor. Right off the bat, does it taste like Eggo waffles? Not particularly. Not Eggo waffles as I make them. And granted, Eggo waffles aren't that great, if we're being honest. But I'm not too good for some fucking Eggos. Shit, I'll do some great value Eggos sometimes. Excuse me. So I mean, but like, yeah, you're gonna put butter on it and gobble it down with syrup. It's gonna be a whole thing. This is obviously not that, but it does have something of a maple flavor. It's definitely an artificial maple flavor, but it doesn't have like any weird aftertaste or anything, which sometimes with maple stuff, it can. Like, again, artificial maple, sometimes you'll get like a really funky aftertaste. But this, it's nice. It's kind of just a sweetened milk at the front. And then sort of you get, kind of midway through is when you get a hint of that maple flavor. And then kind of by the end is when you get like the bulk of it. But it's not a heavy maple flavor. And again, I think in an instance like this where you're drinking it, it kind of depends on how you want to look at it. It probably makes it a little bit more drinkable, but it also makes it a little bit less interesting. I personally wish that they'd been willing to go a little bit bolder with it and really fully invest. But it's not bad. I certainly don't dislike it. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe and sure. For me, like I said, I don't hate it. I'd say I would go as far as say I like it. Now, do I like it a lot? No. It is a proper like C+. It's better than like dead average, but it's not what I was hoping. If I'm being fully honest. Like, I was hoping for a bigger slap of flavor. But it's fine. Again, it's kind of reminiscent of something that, I have a fond memories of, so there's that end of things. But it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, it seems like it's going to be more interesting than it really is. It does have some personality to it, but again, I wish that they'd been willing to really properly go bold with it, and not to like an obnoxious level, but I think they could have gone a little bit more full with with the maple flavoring. But at the same time, could I maybe go over there and get it again? Yeah, every now and again, maybe. It wouldn't be a go-to, though. It would be one of those, like, on a whim things. If I'm recommending it to people, like, sure, give it a shot. Again, especially if you're like me, where you have, like, those nostalgic feelings for Waffle Crisp back in the day, yeah, it'll probably bring you back there a little bit. Just be aware going into it that, like, yeah, it's not going to be anything crazy or anything like that. It's pretty mild, all things considered, but it's not bad. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly proper waffles-tastic rest of your life. Where do you fall on, like, the waffles, pancakes, French toast debate? I'll do any one of them. I don't have a huge dog in any fight, but, I think I'm more French toast these days. But I don't know. We'll see. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important that we go over there, at least try when we can, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, do you guys have any, favorite cereals that have been discontinued, or, maybe you still like, but, maybe they're hard to come by these days or something? Or hell, even just, what's your favorite cereal if you still have one? I'll be honest with you. It's I would still say that French Toast Crunch is my favorite cereal, but I'm also 37. And while this show clearly highlights that, I don't care that much about being 37 when it comes to my diet, definitely not as much as I should, the reality is, I don't eat cereal all that often. Typically, if I buy a cereal, it's because I'm reviewing it. But it's I know not everybody, I refuse to be that person who grows up and gets older, and then, just breakfast is just me going over there eating a sad-ass bowl of super bland cornflakes, just yep, this is my life now. I might as well go over there and drive into traffic. Now, I'm not saying that if you go over there and you eat bland-ass freaking cornflakes, that, you should want to drive into traffic. That's not the case. That's just not the life for me, personally. But at the same time, most people would look at my life and be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's fair. So, anyway, bye.